Good evening, all, and welcome to the Tactical Devils. I'm your host, Jarvis Cocker, and with me tonight, I have my co-host, Stu Wally. Tonight, we are going to talk about the Mbeumo deal. Apparently, Man United has left a bid of £60 million. So it will be happening pretty soon, I believe. But the main topic of the evening is Nkunku, Chelsea. Apparently, there's a swap deal between Garnacho and Nkunku, according to Matt Law. And well, you can't call it a swap deal per se, but they are going in either direction. So we will try to delve into it. We will try to talk more about it. We will do our tactical stuff when it comes to Nkunku. There's other updates on Casemiro. There's updates on Mason Mount. There's updates on Johnny Evans, Palinia. We talked about it the other day. It's getting closer and closer. So, guys, girls, while you wait and I play the intro, you can smash the like and subscribe if you are new. So, see you in a second. Yes, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Tactical Devils. Jarvis is back. Stu is back. There's stuff happening around the ether. Apparently, we are linked with a swap deal with Nkunku and Garnacho. Matt Law. Was it Daily Telegraph Sport?
I think he is someone like that, Matt Law, something along those lines. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, apparently we're looking for another striker, and I see people already saying the Gyökeres deal is off. So, yeah, it seems harder and harder. But, you know, it's still early in the transfer window. Things can still happen. 31 people tuned in all so far. Smash the like, subscribe if you're new. A lot of legends coming in the chat. Nice to see Catherine McDade. No BS McDade. And Gavin Underwood coming in, Danny B. And who else is Jarle Malmin, my fellow Norwegian, is in the chat. Wootinator is coming in. Big up, Wootinator. Good to see you. Johnny Kermode. Wizard is here. A lot of good people in the devilish tacticos. So first of all, let's just bring up the picture before we chitter-chatter a little bit, Stu. And I want to... I haven't uploaded my pictures. Let's see if I can do that. You know, Jarvis is stressing around. It's not good. It's not good.
Hey, so you never stressed. Your ice cold in Norwegian.
This is from Centre Devils just in. Manchester United and Chelsea are considering a deal that would see Christopher Nkunku and Alejandro Garnacho move in opposite directions. Direct talk between the clubs has not yet taken place. Matt Law. So where do we start with this, Stu? Where do we start?
Yeah, do you know, Mr. Nkunku, good evening, by the way, all to the Devilish Tacticos and everybody who's watching us around the world, including some well-known tabloids, newspapers and other YouTube channels who seem to be taking our conversations and publishing them today, which is very, very strange. But if you tuned in last night, you'll know that myself and Jarvis we're talking about the scouting issues that we've had, and that's come to light this morning. You'll also note that me and Jarvis have been speaking a while, certainly last night, about buying Premier League players and the difference it should make for us next season. And lo and behold, what appeared in the newspaper this morning.
Apparently it's a new thing.
Yeah.
United should buy homegrown players, like British Premier League proven players.
I know. So to everyone who's watching us and catching on to our ideas from the media and other channels, you're welcome, is all I've got to say to you. Anyway, on Nkunku, I think he'll divide opinion, Jarvis. Absolutely, he will divide opinion. You're absolutely right. He's done F all in the Premier League. But there is certainly a footballer in there. He just hasn't demonstrated it at any time. I think he spent most of his career injured at Chelsea, from what I can see. I think he's only scored about 3 times in possibly 30 odd appearances, something along those lines. But he's going to go down as one of those enigma type players. I really believe it. I think there is a huge amount of talent there, but absolutely not for us. Somebody we cannot consider. It's Chelsea not wanting to pay for Garnacho through PSR rules, I would imagine, and they're desperate to probably. I would imagine Nkunku is a reasonably high earner. Then I would suggest then they are looking to sweeten the pot somewhere along the line. This is, to me, is nothing more than a financial cash grab from Chelsea, and I'm not interested really. And it's a shame because I genuinely think there's a genuine footballer in there with a lot of talent. He's very good at dribbling. If you've seen him in the past, good dribbler, good speed. He's a decent finisher, actually, chap. He really is a decent finisher, but you couldn't even consider it. And Chelsea know this. Chelsea know they're not going to get a fee for him. They know that a swap deal is the best way, or a loan is the best way to remove him. But more importantly, did he sign in this new era where there's 6 to 9 years contracts, or was he signed prior to that when they were doing 4 to 5 year contracts? And if he is sitting on a 9-year contract, or an 8-year contract, or a 7-year contract, then the cards are firmly in Mr. Nkunku's hands, and he will not move unless, because he is guaranteed money. Remember this, he's guaranteed money.
2029, summer 2029, his contract expires.
Well, there you go. So he's got 4 years still, and he's been at Chelsea for how long? 2 years?
1.5, maybe.
1.5. So close to 2
January.
Years. Yeah, so close to 2 years, and it's just been a cash cow player for Chelsea. So they are looking at a creative way of moving Nkunku on, and are using Manchester United again in the ether, as Jarvis likes the words, and trying to use us to miraculously put a bidding war in. But Manchester United, there's no way in a million years will entertain that deal. And all of you guys and the devilish tacticos absolutely aren't falling for that as well. So no, not for me. I think it's an absolute non-starter of a story. There you go, 2023. So he's in his kind of like second year.
Second 2 years, yeah.
So, he signed a 6-year deal then. So it's big money. Over the course of that 6-year period, it's big money. On Nkunku, he's not going to be moved. So they're doing everything they can to kind of alleviate the cash loss, and it's not going to happen. So I think it's a non-starter, Jarvis, to be honest, pal. That's my take.
I will make a poll and ask you guys: would you swap Garnacho for Nkunku? Question mark. And yes and no. It shouldn't be more difficult than that. And I want to know what you guys think.
There's a definite player in there, though, Jarvis, if he can stay fit. There's a player in there for somebody, just not us.
Yeah. Well, let's have a look before we make up our mind on Nkunku. As I said yesterday, when we talked about, who did we talk about yesterday?
Moise Kean. Moise
Kean, yes. Before we make up our mind, let's delve into the stats, because that's what we can go after. Yes. So let's have a look. Trying to add to stage. Well, nothing happens. Okay, here we go. Christopher Nkunku. He's a forward, attacking midfielder, right-footed, 5'9", 152 pounds. So he's not the biggest of strikers, but he's good on the ball, so he's quite technical. He's actually 27 years of age, almost 28. So yeah, it surprised me a little bit. I thought he was younger. When it comes to his wages, he's on 195k a week.
Wow. There you go. 4
So
years left on that.
he wouldn't probably take a wage cut. So we are talking about 200k a week, most likely, when it comes to this.
Yeah.
Looking at his stats compared with forwards, they are looking quite good.
Yeah, but he's a
lot of
good
greens.
player. He's a very good footballer, but he just isn't for us. And as Dave said, stats on the treatment table. And you're right, Jarvis. And so's Dave, and so's Danny B, and so's the Vutinator, and so's Alien Tenno, Johnny Commode, Catherine, Yarla. They're all right. Everybody's right. It's a non-starter for us. This is a typical attempt at a cash grab from Chelsea. Well, let's put it this way, Jarvis. You're in the boardroom, Todd Bowley, and say, "Well, look, we rinsed United once. Let's do it again."
Yeah, that's the thing. Chelsea always rinse us. They know how to get the better of us. Always.
Not this time.
They did it with Sancho. They did it with Matic. We overpaid. Player in decline.
Yeah.
Nah.
Bloody hell, Trev's back. Where's he been?
Trevor Wade coming in the evening. Jarvis, Eminem, Cocker, and Stu 50 cent and more like 50 pence. Woolly.
More like 50 pence, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Where have you been?
Hope you're well, Trev.
Yeah,
good to see you.
Well, Trev. Great to see you.
Yeah. But his stats looks good, But this is compared with forwards. If we compare him with attacking midfielders and wingers, I think we see a better picture. Pass completion is good on the ball. But his pass attempts tells you a lot of the story. It's most likely more bit secure passes. Successful take-ons, 17 percentile. Carries 6. It doesn't look like a player that suits the Amorim system, at least not as a 10. So the only place where we can play him, according to the stats, would be as a striker.
Yeah, I mean, he's a better dribbler than those stats. He's a decent player. He really is a decent footballer, but he's wasted 2 years of his life at Chelsea. It's a bit like Kudus. A lot of the devilish tacticos appreciate Kudus. Very, very good footballer. He's a wasted talent, isn't he, at West Ham? And Nkunku's proven, sadly, to be injury prone and a bit of a wasted talent at Chelsea. It was a big mistake move for him from a career point of view, but from a financial point of view, it's fucking money in the bank.
Yes.
You signed a 6-year contract, you own. You just do what you like on 6 years. So
I'm not sure if you can read this, but this is the players he's most comparable with stats-wise. And we have Trossard, Lautaro Martinez, Antoine Griezmann, Kai Havertz, Diego Jota.
Yeah, so we'll move down from Kai Havertz. But Jota, we know what Jota's like. He's a nightmare for any team, Jota. But he just isn't for us right now. And Danny B's right, the French Mason Mount. He just isn't for us.
No. What could make this an interesting deal to make? Is it money-wise? Because, if we're swapping Garnacho, but we're not swapping. The players are going in either direction. So we're talking about maybe we get 50 for Garnacho and we pay 25 in Nkunku and get 25 million pounds.
Nkunku's never worth 50 million. You're right. There's got to be a financial transaction in there.
No, it's not a swap, even swap.
Yeah, there's got to be
need money for this.
We do. I just don't get it. I'd rather do something with Ollie Watkins, to be honest, at Villa. If we're going to entertain that kind of deal, I'd rather do something with Ollie Watkins. But again, I heard on the radio today that Manchester United apparently interested in Ollie Watkins. But now all of a sudden, and I don't really believe that hype either. So I just
Mm.
maybe maybe it's just people just saying, "Well, Garnacho's wearing a Villa shirt, way we'll link him with Watkins now," that type of thing. It's just I don't think there's anything actually. I don't think you can put anything in the Kool-Aid on this one. Well, you could, Jarvis, but it's something that we wouldn't want to put in any drink. So that's the only way
No.
you would make that deal, in my opinion. So, what's the result of the poll?
Yeah, let's have a look. The poll is it's 28% says yes, 72% says no. So
There you go.
it's I would say the majority has spoken. We don't want Nkunku in Man United at Man United.
No, it's not for us. He just isn't for us. Look, we both never really thought Gyökeres was going to get over the line, did we?
No.
We never really stuck our, and I was more of an Osimhen kind of guy anyway. But I think Danny B or Dave put in the chat earlier, what are we now on plan E? Something are we that far down that we're we're on Nkunku? Bad news.
Well, as you see here, the heat maps, the one on the left closest to us is Nkunku. The one on the right is Højlund. If you want to play him as a 9, you see he's more of a Cunha type of player, and we already brought in Cunha, so why would you go for Nkunku? It doesn't make sense at all. So I think we can just put this in the bin and
what that heat map doesn't show, Jarvis,
thing.
is that's only 20 minutes worth of play because he collapsed and we haven't seen him since on Nkunku. on that one. At least we've seen Højlund, a lot.
Least, yeah. So I just want to bring up this before we end the Nkunku thing entirely. Nkunku missed 48 games for the club and country during the 23-24 seasons due to injuries.
Unacceptable.
You read that right? 48 games missed. That's even more than Luke Shaw, I believe. And, you see here, knock, hamstring injury, hip injury, fitness, knee injury, torn muscle fiber, torn lateral knee ligament, wrist injury, coronavirus, back problems, ankle problems.
Fucking hell. You got a hip injury? Fucking 24 days with a hip injury. Fucking hell. Come on.
Yeah.
Please.
Nah, it's not happening.
No.
I will cry if he's signing Nkunku. I will cry. Literally cry.
You want somebody, we want somebody. People were talking about Weghorst, as a bit of a gleeful, I would rather have a Weghorst back than Nkunku. But something, the difference between Nkunku and Weghorst is, Weghorst and a lot of our team at the moment is that when he scored, he almost cried because he was so fucking happy.
Yeah, he did.
We haven't seen players like this arrive at Manchester United. Weghorst took a lot of stick from us, but he almost, when he scored, it was palpable, the relief and the absolute joy, sheer joy of scoring for Manchester United is what it's all about. So, look, we've got to, Nicholas Jackson over on Nkunku. That's what everyone's saying. That's what I'm hearing. Word on the King's Road is.
Well, I don't want either, either. Not Nkunku, not Nicholas Jackson. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. Falsetto is not the same as it used to be.
Your falsetto.
Yeah, it's not the same as it used to be.
Not quite right, is it? No. You want to study Ronnie Radke, that lunatic American singer. You should study him. He does a bit of screaming in his falsetto, apparently.
All right. AJ Analysis done a good breakdown of Richard Rios. No, I didn't watch it, NB, but I will have a look.
No. Yeah, we need to have a look at
before I go to sleep. I like AJ. He does really good analysis. One of the better tactical channels. Go check him out if you haven't. Maybe we should try to get him on the channel one day.
Why not? Yeah, get him on. Yeah, get him on. And we can teach him exactly what analytics is all about and how football works. You get him on.
Well, I'm open to learn
a thing
or two. Also,
me and Jarvis, we know a very, very, very small amount about the game, but it's a good amount, we hope. But it's still a small amount, isn't it, pal?
Well, it's mostly experience. I played the game.
Common sense. We're all about experience and common sense.
Almost 40 years myself, and watched the game like on telly since I was this big. So
I'm close to I can't remember, 48 years, something like that.
Yeah. You're getting old. You're getting old. Johnny Commode comes in with some breaking news. Laurie Whitwell has said United have submitted an improved offer for Mbeumo on the Athletic. Yes, this was the next talking point because every channel is covering the Mbeumo thing. I know you know all about it, but let's talk about Mbeumo. So, came out now today. Let's see. Breaking Man United. Let's bring it up. Breaking
news.
Breaking. Man United have now improved their offer for Bryan Mbeumo to a package totaling over £60 million. Mbeumo has always been a clear United are his preferred destination over Spurs. It's from Alex Crook and Ben Jacobs.
Yes.
And Laurie Whitwell has come out. Let's see if we can find it, but I don't have a picture, but it will probably be on top of my X.
He will.
Yes. At the moment, Man United's priority signing is Bryan Mbeumo as a new number 9, Fabrizio Romano. So all the Tier 1 journalist is reporting this. Laurie Whitwell says Man United have submitted an improved bid for more than 60 million for Brentford striker Bryan Mbeumo. Talks have been ongoing. United hope for resolution in near future. Preseason starts 7th of July. Laurie Whitwell, Athletic. So yeah, I think that's the end of the Mbeumo saga.
That was a leak. That was a leak from Manchester United and Brentford today. That was a very coordinated leak. You could just tell. It even read like a leak. We'll just leak it to the press. I think it's been done for 2-3 weeks. This deal. I stand by that. But that's just got leak written all over it, and I like it. I like that they're leaking stuff like that. It's coordinated. There's one thing for sure, guys, and I think we're all very, very. When you all heard, and what did we talk about a couple of days ago? The reason for the silence was Thomas Frank to Tottenham, and then Brentford have got to search for a manager first. Hold on, and we need a manager.
Yeah.
Now look, they've promoted from within. Yeah, they're promoted from within. It's come out today. It's Keith Andrews. He's got no real managerial experience that I'm aware of. I know the Devilish Tacticos are full of knowledge. If you know of any managerial experience he's got, he's an Irish international. And he was a pundit, wasn't he, on Sky Sports for the Championship and the EFL rather than the Premier League. But he seems to be well respected and well thought of within the halls of Brentford. But I think Mbeumo knew what was going on, very, very relaxed. Manchester United knew what was going on. And it's really interesting that all of a sudden it comes out again once Brentford have named their new manager. It was always going to be that way.
Yeah.
You had to get rid of Thomas Frank. You had to get your manager in. Now you can concentrate on Mbeumo. That's why when Mbeumo was interviewed a couple of weeks ago at the F1, it was as cool as you like, because I think it's been done. Brentford has said, we will do that deal with you, but we must do this first. And Brentford, in all fairness, have done the right thing. You don't sell players without a manager. You have to have a manager in place to do it quickly. I wish Keith Andrews, I think it is all the very, very best.
Who is that guy, Keith Andrews?
Like I say, I think he's. I don't think he ever made it into the Premier League. I know Johnny Kay and Yarla and Pete, Alien Tanner will be able to. Danny Biddle will be able to tell us if he played Premier League football. I don't recall it, but I think he's a decent Championship level player. Irish international, probably. Not what I would have expected for Brentford. When you consider what Thomas Frank has done for Brentford, would you not consider replacing him with Ange Postecoglou? I'm just, for argument's sake, he is alive and ready to go. Premier League experience. Would you not knock on Postecoglou's door and say, look, you know?
Well, I have to say, when it comes to appointing managers, you have to be
very
sensible.
good Brentford.
You have to appoint a manager that's actually suit the squad given to him. And I don't think the Brentford squad is suited to play the Postecoglou style. When you think of their centre backs, high line, they're not the quickest one. They're more like deep lying playmakers who like to play with the low block, counter-attacking football, and in a way that's not the Postecoglou style.
But
if
we
you
don't
look
know,
away from the last 3 months
but
of
we
his
don't know
reign.
Keith Andrews. We don't know a lot about Keith Andrews' style.
No,
do
but
we?
if I was on the board of Brentford, I would try
No.
to do a
It's
similar
a very good
of
point.
a manager
It's a very
as
good point.
Thomas
Yeah,
Frank.
it's a very good point. But I don't think it'd have been enough anyway from Mbeumo to have stayed. I think if maybe Jose Mourinho walked through the door, and Mbeumo might have had second thoughts. I don't know, but here we go. Here we go.
Keith Andrews,
Danny
Brentford.
Lee was saying Keith Andrews, big risk. He was assistant manager for Ireland, I think, a few years ago. So I agree. I think it's a big risk, Danny, for sure. But that's been the hold up. This is just a leak now. It's come out. We'll say that United will go through the whole rigmarole. We'll say you've just put an extra bid in, blah, 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 blah. Looks like we played hardball. You look like you've had to negotiate. None of that's true. But
he's young, up and coming manager. I see here's 44 years of age. As someone in the chat
he's a tiddler in managers.
Yeah.
Look,
and
I wish the guy.
He's a lot of experience. He played Blackburn, Hull, Ipswich, West Brom, Bolton.
But his championship EFL level was never made it in the Premier League, did he?
Yeah.
Did he make the Premier League? Not that it matters, because it doesn't. I mean, Mourinho didn't really.
I would say so. He played for Bolton, West Brom, Ipswich in the late 2000s.
Ipswich was in the championship for a while. Bolton, West Brom, been in the championship for a long time.
No, anyway. He played for Blackburn Rovers when they played in the Premier League, 2008.
Okay, cool.
I'm just and he played for Ireland, coaching career. Following his end of a playing career, Andrews became assistant manager to MK Dons. Head coach
Travis
Mark
just said
Robinson.
He played in the Premier League. I don't recall him in the Premier League, so but
no. But he's been the assistant to Mark Robinson, isn't he? The ex-Man United player.
Mark Robbins.
Oh yeah, Mark Robinson. Okay, it's not the same. Mark Robinson.
Yeah. Mark Robbins,
yeah, and he worked in the backroom staff at Sheffield United under Chris Wilder.
I wish him the best of luck.
Interesting.
I wish him the best of luck. But it's my point anyway. My point is, this deal has been held up by Thomas Frank, the incoming manager. All of a sudden, Andrews gets announced today, and lo and behold, Manchester miraculously today
ta-da,
going with the second bid. Ta-da! Yeah, come on.
Mbeumo.
Mbeumo. Yeah, come on. Here we go.
As long as we get him in before pre-season starts, 7th of
the lads
July.
go back on the 7th, don't they? Lads go back on the 7th.
Yeah.
So I would consider that's all sorted.
Yeah. Do some comments, Stu, and I will just.
Yeah, we've got absolutely tons of comments in. Trev's been rinsing me somewhere.
I saw an interesting question here from who was it who brought it in?
Is that the one about what is it with the opening credits?
Nah, this. I'm not sure. Who would win a fight between you and Stu?
Oh, between us two?
Yeah.
Oh, we're lovers. We're not fighters, Catherine. We're lovers. We don't fight.
I have to say, in my defense, I'm a former Marine.
Exactly.
And I work with the MPs.
Yes.
The military police. So I know a thing or two, but without a doubt, 100% Stu would He's in a different weight class, you know.
What's my defence?
Would
Are
be
you calling me
fair.
fat? Are you calling me fat?
No, 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 no.
I don't know what
But
my defence is.
you are like heavyweight, but what's the class on the heavyweight?
I'm a cruiserweight. I like that
Cruiserweight, and
cruiserweight.
I'm flyweight. You know, I'm flyweight.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yes. We're not fighters, are we, pal? We're lovers, aren't we?
yes, yes. I
Dean?
would have
We're
no
lovers, not
chance in hell.
fighters. I didn't say that.
Stu by knockout in the
He's
fourth
giving you 4
round.
rounds. He's giving you 4 rounds.
Thank you, Trevor.
I'm not quite sure about this one, but apparently you got a big I don't know about that one, Jarvis.
Let's talk about Man United. We are derailing at the moment.
Yes, let's get back to United.
Not a good thing. Yeah,
well, Trevor says Keith Andrews has made his debut when he was 28. Again, it really interesting because I didn't know that. So,
yeah. But what I found interesting was he worked under Chris Wilder because he's one of the most innovative managers in Britain. I would say how he played the same style as the Inter manager Inzaghi, with attacking center backs going into attack. You know, that's something else, and no other British manager had done the same. So I have huge respect for Chris Wilder and how he set up his team in 2018, 2019.
How come he got fired? I wonder.
Yeah,
very strange. They brought somebody in quite quickly as well, didn't they? I can't remember who it was now, but they brought somebody in quite quickly.
Yeah. Jarvis Rambo.
Jarvis Rambo.
Adrian.
No, that's not Rambo, is it?
Yeah, that's Rocky.
That's Rocky, not Rambo. Rambo was well, he didn't really speak, did he, Rambo? Did he?
Nah.
Rambo? Nah. John Rambo? I don't think he really spoke.
He didn't.
Rocky Jarvis.
End of the Madness comes in. That's a new name I haven't seen before. Big up, End of the Madness. Good to see you. Say, don't matter what you say to the press, they print their own story anyway, and that's true. That's so true. A lot of
he grunted.
Mr. B says our weight classes for a reason, and Stu would win.
He's right. Yeah. Well, he's a kickboxer, Mr. B, so he would definitely know.
Really?
He's a kickboxer, yeah. We were on a conversation months ago when he was telling us he's a kickboxer. Yeah, he said, yeah, he loves it.
Wow.
Yeah, he would definitely know.
Respect. I wish I did some martial arts in my youth, you know, so I had something to fall back on, you know.
Kickboxing's a tough sport, man. Fucking hell. Jesus.
Yeah. I think I don't know what's worse or best, kickboxing or Thai boxing, because you see with all the knees and the shins and
yeah, I don't. That's something I would not like to do. Is get into a Thai boxing ring. I wouldn't be a fan of getting in a kickboxing ring. Actually, either.
No.
Straight up boxing, yeah. Kickboxing, no. Absolutely no. But I tell you, it's brilliant for your fitness. Any kind of fighting sport is excellent for your fitness. Brilliant for your cardio. Good for your strength, your stamina. Your muscle memory. It's really, really good. Any kind of fighting sport is really, really good.
Yeah. Stu, I want to talk a little bit more about Mbeumo, because now it's almost official. And how do you expect Mbeumo to fit into this Amorim system? A lot of people see him playing in the right-sided number 10.
Yeah,
I've talked about him playing in the right-sided wing back. It also occurred to me that he could play as on the left-sided wing-back if you want an inverted, because we know Amorim likes to play with one inverting, one holding the width. So he could actually work on the left wing-back, because we know we need a new player on the left wing-back. We only have Luke Shaw and that young guy. What's his name again? Harry Amos.
I'm sorry, on the left side. And Dorgu.
Yeah, on the left side. Yeah, and Dorgu. But, you know, we could actually go with Mbeumo on the left. if we would sometimes play with, for example, Dallo on the right. So we have one holding the width, crossing, and one inverting, going inwards.
I think Mbeumo comes in as a fluid 10. I think he's brought Mbeumo in to play right across the front three, or behind the central striker, or even start him as central striker. That's what I think he's done. But I wouldn't be surprised if you don't see him pop up as a right wing back, or indeed pop up as a left wing back. I think he's got the attributes to play left wing back. Absolutely. I know a lot of people don't like Cass in particular doesn't like the thought of Cunha playing or coming from deep, does he? He doesn't like that idea. But Cunha
he would like to have him higher up the pitch.
Yeah, Cunha will play from deep, and he will come from deep. He's an accomplished 8. Is Cunha? I've seen him live on many occasions, and he really does centre around the 8 as well as playing as a 10. But I agree. I think he's in here to play as a 10. No questions. So I think I think what you're buying with Mbeumo, not only are you buying goals, I think you're buying flexibility. I think you're buying a player that can play in 2 or 3 positions. I think you're buying Cunha, a player that can play in 2 or 3 positions. And I think that's what we've needed in this squad and in this first 11 for a long, long time.
I think you're right. It's very versatile. I'm just watching, checking the likes. We're on 24 likes, guys.
Ooh, come on.
We can do better than that.
You can.
Give us more likes. Takes you 1 second. Press that thumbs up and give us a like. YouTube don't give us a push when we are low on the likes. We need at least 50 and preferably 100. So give us some credit.
YouTube is terrible to us on the likes, aren't they?
Yeah, and you're not pushing our videos at all. I don't know why.
Bid has been rejected. You're hearing
RFGTTTY. Okay, where's that link? I can't see anything on X. So if you have anything, I don't want to stir things up. I can't see that happening because all of the tier ones are reporting that the second bid is in 60 million. And as you said, Brentford has been waiting for a new manager just to be sure before they part ways with Mbeumo. Thank you, Mr. B. Thank you, one of the legends. Just
Mr. B, thank you.
I can't see anything on X, so yes. I
had to trying to make it a family channel.
Well, I gotta be honest. Since we became monetized, we have to be a little bit aware of our language.
We are. Even I've called it.
I don't want to swear all the time, but
I like to swear.
You can do whatever you like.
Yeah, I like to swear occasionally. I was swearing yesterday after 2 hours of pre-season, Jarvis. I was swearing then. Trust me. I woke up this morning. God, I was aching. I wasn't happy this morning. Wasn't happy camper at all this morning.
Oh, no. Dave says we can't take Mbeumo's goal threat away. We don't score enough, and that's a main topic. And I see. This is the way where I need to bring up. It's been a while since we have had the old tactical.
I miss it.
I miss it. Yeah. So Cunha is here, and Mbeumo's here. This is what we got so far.
Yes.
We are apparently playing Aston Villa because that's our last game of the season.
Yes.
But Højlund, this could be our starting 11 in the first game against Arsenal.
Potentially without Casemiro and Agati instead.
Not Martinez then, but let's say Heaven.
I think Heaven and Agati for Casemiro if he goes to Al Nassr.
Yeah. So okay, now we're talking about potential starting 11 Aston Villa. But how do you think Cunha and Mbeumo would affect this? Because as you know, if you take a look at this too,
yes,
this area here, We have one player who likes to play in this area. We have another one who likes to come inside. We have Bruno who likes to play in this area. We have Højlund who likes to drop down in this area. I see a traffic jam in this area.
Well, this is where you're going to have to go smart, isn't it? So if you were to do a similar circle, leave that circle shaded, do a similar circle across where Mbeumo is.
Okay.
Yeah, similar circle there. And then
that's the area for the number 10s.
Yeah, and then around the semicircle, around the centre circle, you do a bigger circle, which kind of pushes directly into that's it there. So that's Bruno's. Yeah, so the bigger circle is Bruno's optimum, because you're absolutely right. He has a tendency to really push in where Cunha is. And obviously Højlund wouldn't be there. Højlund should be in a non-circled area. That's where Højlund should be messing around. So it allows you, if you put Cunha and Mbeumo into their chosen positions, so Cunha over by Kamara and Mbeumo in between McGinn and Onana, and then you can push up Ahmad, and then you can push up Dorgu. And what you're going to have to see with Ahmad is they're going to have to play the corridor from the tip of the 18-yard box to the touchline. So the corridor from Euro, that's the corridor they're going to have to play. Exactly right. That's the corridor they play. And then when Mbeumo, because we're going to want Mbeumo not where Ahmad is, but where in and around where Højlund is. We're going to want him in and around there.
So you want him drifting
absolutely
the second striker?
Anywhere between Onana, Torres, and inside the penalty box behind Torres, so to speak. That's So
because we want to leave space for Ahmad.
That's exactly what I want to do. And I want to see the same with Cunha. And then I want to see Bruno in and around where Asensio is. That's where he should be doing. He should be looking then to pick up the pieces. And Agate, you would have right in the centre behind Watkins. That's our optimum. So it gives you enough space for Ahmad, Dorgu to attack inside and attack down the width. It allows the centre halves to push up, as you've quite rightly done, but leave a Delict or whoever with Agate holding the centre, and then you've got that absolute Højlund or whoever on 9 is. Cunha and Mbeumo would be a nightmare for anybody in that position. That's effectively how I see it should work. I don't think it will work like that, as we know, but I actually do think that would be optimum for us. And obviously you want Højlund in and around the penalty spot when that
goes without saying,
because that's where Osimhen would be.
Yeah,
he would be there. So,
when you looked at Mbeumo's heat map playing for Brentford, it's more out here. It's wider. And it's all up and down here. The Ahmad role. Could we do it the opposite way and play Ahmad here and play Mbeumo in this?
I wouldn't. Channel? I'll tell you why I wouldn't. I'll tell you why Mbeumo was there, because he had Wissa. He could always find Wissa, couldn't he? Wissa was always in the middle. And vice versa, when Wissa was coming down the left and Mbeumo was always in the middle. Those two were brilliant. They operated brilliantly together. You could do that change. You couldn't do it with Dorgu and Cunha, I don't think. But you could definitely do it with Ahmad and Mbeumo. Absolutely. They could quite easily switch. No problem at all. And I think you're going to get a similar outcome, because I think Ahmad, we know he's got goals in him. He just needs to show a little bit more. But 100%, that's where I'd like to see Mbeumo.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I don't know what everyone else thinks.
Nah, guys, you are tactically astute, so give us your thoughts. I see Wizard comes in and saying Mbeumo is brilliant. He's just one-footed Anthony with goals and assists. I like how United is putting a facade around this. Okay, do I understand you right if you're not really excited about Mbeumo because he's one-footed?
Well, I think he is. I think Wizard is. I just think he's making a point that he's a right-footed player. He doesn't,
Yeah.
he doesn't have a solid left. But some of the best players, I don't like single-footed players. By the way, I think you should always be two-footed. I've always said that, and I always maintain it. But when you look at Giggs, he was brilliant on his left, very, very poor right. Beckham couldn't really use his left that well, so he was always, right-footed. But Cantona could. Cantona could use his right foot, and he could use his left foot, couldn't he? So,
yeah.
One of those.
We're almost 50 people watching on YouTube, 119 total.
Let's get
If you
those
count
likes up, please.
Bernard is coming in. Is Couto coming in and say
Hi,
hello,
Bernard.
guys. Good to see you, Bernard. Good to see you. And Rush Mano is in the house. Big up, Rush. Good to see you. He said United would only get Nkunku on loan, not a permanent deal. Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting.
Okay, if we can keep him fit. How would you play in Mbeumo and Cunha, by the way, John? It's just out of interest.
Yeah, I like the idea of Mbeumo as a wing back because I think we need more attacking wing backs. I'm terrified of getting pinned down, as we saw last season a lot of times. And I think if you play a player like Mbeumo, the opposition wouldn't dare to try pin him down. Because they would know that he would outpace them, he would outrun them, he would always push to go in behind and inward. So playing him there would give us another aspect of the game, and it would be much more difficult for the opposition to try to pin us down. Because I think that was Amorim's biggest problem last season. The opposition understood how to nullify Amorim's system, and that was one of the easiest thing. They could just put their wingers high and wide and just push our wingers down like this. And we effectively played it with a back five. And we had nothing going forward.
Yeah.
And when you count it, we only attacked with 3 guys.
Yeah.
And that was Garnacho, Højlund, and Ahmad.
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't think he's bought Mbeumo as a wing back, but you can't rule it out, pal, is what I would say to that.
Yeah, I know this, Dave, but I think both Mbeumo and Ahmad will complement each other. I think if you play both of them on one side, it doesn't matter if you start Ahmad on the right wing and Mbeumo, they could interchange the position.
I think whatever happens, Jarvis, is we need a greater goal output from Ahmad this season.
Yeah, he definitely needs to improve his game.
We need a greater
was his best season so far. But I think also when you bring in a player like Mbeumo, I would say you get more intensity during training every week. You have a guy who's professional, who meets up, who he can do it. He have confidence. He looks like an adult, at least, and I think he behaves like an adult. And I think players like Ahmad needs to step it up. I think he needs to step it up in practice, in training, every day, and in games. You can't go invisible every third game and do nothing, and then put in a masterclass, because it's not how it works. You need to put in a 7 out of 10 every week.
The other difference with Mbeumo is as well, if you put that back up, is he will attack the byline constantly. If he's in that position in and around Maatsen there, he will attack the byline. He will penetrate. If you see where Mbeumo is now, if you put a little circle just around him there, he will penetrate that area, which is dangerous for a fullback. Once he gets into that area, he makes a fullback make a decision. Yeah,
and then we will have a lot of goals from Bruno because of the cut.
That's why I wanted Bruno out here. This is why you've got to hang back sometimes. And you've got to be able to. But Cunha can drift in here. When Mbeumo's there, we need Cunha. If you put a box around Cunha and Konsa, that's where you want Cunha. Just like a rectangle box.
Yeah. So around here, maybe.
Well, he can operate anywhere between Kamara and Konsa. Cunha can there when he's at the back stick. He can operate anywhere there. So we can make that run, that late run, or he can make the run across Konsa, or we can, across into the box. But Mbeumo can deliver. We know he can because he delivered a few times. Exactly how many, I don't know, but he moved a few times for Vista, didn't he? Assist-wise on the right. So.
But what I've seen from the compilations, I feel that Mbeumo likes to attack this area. This is his main area.
That's where I want him. That's why I
Yeah.
put it. You know where you've got Ahmad.
Yeah.
No, that's why I wanted Cunha and Mbeumo there, and Cunha exactly the same position on the other side.
Yeah.
Because he makes that space, he'll attack that area. But as you quite rightly said, and you are right, Jarvis, he will attack the final corridor, the bottom third corridor, where Ahmad is now. You could see Mbeumo there. We've seen it before.
But they could always interchange, and that's the thing, Ahmad could go here and Mbeumo could go here, and you will see
absolutely
the opposite movement. That's the
you're not
thing.
going to get that with Dorgu and Cunha. That's not going to happen with Dorgu and Cunha.
Dalot.
And it's not going to happen with Dalot either, correct? It's got to be Ahmad and Mbeumo. You're going to be reliant on Cunha's movement into the box from the left-hand side and vice versa with whoever's playing in the middle.
Yeah.
Because what you could do, you've got Cunha there behind Højlund. You could let Højlund drift out slightly to about 12 yards, just off the penalty spot, and allow Cunha to come in and give him a bit more space on the back post. So what we've demonstrated there, and I think what the guys in the Devilish Tacticos have seen, is the flexibility of a front three like Cunha, whoever, and Mbeumo. And Bruno and Ahmad. That flexibility there is something we haven't had. And this is why you will see a difference next season in our attacking play. It's whether or not we can push that back into the defensive side of the game. Can we get back quick enough? Can we defend corners better, etc., etc.?
Mr. B comes in with a valid point. Why play players out of their position? We always do that. Yeah, we do that, but I think it comes down to, well, we always do that traditionally. We have done it with a lot of players during the years. But when it comes to this Amorim system, how I see it, because we need specialized players, and Amorim hasn't had his specialized players. No. We have been forced to play like Bruno in the 8, or Dalot on the right wing back, and so we will see. But
it's interesting.
You mentioned the key word is being fluent, fluent attack. And I think we will see a lot of, and especially if we get a good striker in who can run the channel, and what we talked about, zone 18.
So it might not always be Mbeumo
in the channel. Zone 18, and then Mbeumo can cut inside. And also, I like this comment from Wizard and say, you want players that can go left and right at rapid speed. You can't stop that.
Yeah. So if you put that board back up, Mr. B says, can you put a circle around non-existent midfield? And he's right, actually. But the point there is that Ahmad and Dorgu have got to tuck in better than what they did last season. So when we are in transition, they've got to tuck in. So Ahmad's got to be on the edge of that circle, obviously in our half. Exactly the same, but in our half. In that position, where Dorgu is in there. So they just need to tuck in a little bit. And they only need to tuck in about 10 or 15 yards. So if the ball does come down the wings, they can maneuver out if they need to. If not, they're there. They're designed to stop the infield pass. But we weren't doing it enough last season, Mr. B.
But I don't see that as a strong position for Ahmad.
It's not. No, herein lies the problem. This is Ahmad's difficulty. And I think this is going to be Ahmad's problem this season. It's not his position, Jarvis, at all. Yeah. That's not what he's there for. He's not a strong tackler. He's a dribbler, a playmaker. But that's what the job of wing back is. I mean, you said so yourself. Whereas Dalot's quite good in there, isn't he? He's a pain, but he's okay. That's why you'll see Frimpong for Liverpool more often than not. And he'll just deliver the ball into bursts.
What we've seen in this Amorim system is actually more like this. You see the wide centre backs coming up and filling this role.
Doesn't work some of the times because, as Wizard says, if you've got two absolute lightning strikes, just say 7 and 1, McGinn and that, they're in behind Yoro. Yoro's quite quick, Heaven's quite quick, but they're not going to get back in time. If you put Yoro back, maybe in line with McGinn, bit further, and then put Ahmad and Dorgu where we want them.
Yeah.
Put Ahmad and Dorgu back there and there. We're in a much better position to stop quick transition and to stop attack through the middle. Yoro, Heaven can cover the two wingers, Ahmad is in line with Yoro, and Dorgu is in line with Heaven. They should be able to fill in those positions. Ideally, that's what they should
But
be
is
able to
this
do.
the rest defense, or is it like our defensive position and how we should defend?
Position defense actually is a lot about position.
Yeah.
To be honest. And I've always said to you, sometimes when you press, if you don't facially press, i.e. you don't press like that, but you zonal press into a position, what that does, that enables you should save more energy because you're in a position and you don't have to do a 10-yard sprint. You may be able to do a 2-yard sprint and you're crossing there. And that's what the Ahmad position and the Dorgu position should do. We know that Heaven's quite quick and we know that Yoro's quite quick.
Yeah.
Our problem has then been, and I know the guys are going to say to us straight away, is pace in the middle. De Ligt hasn't quite got that pace, but he's a very good reader of the game, isn't he, De Ligt? So really, what we've got there, you know, we were talking about, you know, the way I set up my team a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Well,
I remember.
it's the same as Eric Ten Hag. It is and it isn't. It just comes down to a finite way of being able to position yourself on a football pitch that hasn't changed in size in years. But you can see the fluidity, and the guys can see the fluidity of it. But you know, when we talk about this, guys, and you're all footballers in the chat, you say you know what it's like when you step over to that pitch. As long as you are patrolling your own zone, whether you're a fullback, put in zone 14, 16, and 18, Jarvis. Just as a demonstration.
Yeah, okay. Zone 14.
In our defensive
in our
side.
defense. Yeah.
Our defensive side. Just as a demonstration, yeah.
So you have these two zones. So these are the ones you're talking about?
So if you put Yoro and Heaven on the corner of the box, as long as you're within that catchment area, your zone, you've got less. You should have less work to get across to cover. That's the idea of that zone. And then you've got Dorgu, Agate, and Ahmad in their zones. And the idea is that you mirror each other, and hopefully, and that's all we try and do. You know, football formation wise, and football being able to. Look, I don't mean it to sound simple. I really don't, because I know it isn't simple. But what I'm trying to say is, if you think about it and you don't get out of position, you've got more chance of.
Yeah. Where's Dallo? He's not in my team for sure.
No, he's not in our team.
We have had enough Dallo-ness in this team.
Yeah, sorry, Alien's right. By the way, Pete's right here. We're not necessarily, Pete, saying that Heaven will start. We just, I mean, that could be quite easily be
Luke Shaw
Mazzari or Luke Shaw. It could be Mazzari, or it could be, Yoro in for Heaven, Mazzari in for Yoro.
Yeah.
All I'm trying to do is just explain the zonal side of it.
The role.
And I think that makes us look.
Centre-back.
I think that makes us look a lot tighter. People are going to say, "Well, you're lacking width," but there's a short distance for you to travel to make the width.
Stu, I have a question for you. It's from I Am Titanium. I bet you guys are great at parties.
Well, no, I don't know if that's a criticism or me and Jarvis, when you go to parties, do you get out the tactics board? Well,
hello.
Well, of course, lads, you don't know what you're talking about. Let me stop that game there. Let me get the let Jarvis to get his thing out. Yeah, I don't know.
Yes, let's talk about the tactical board.
Let's get the tactical board.
Biggest nerd in the party.
Two nerds, but
yeah. But it can be fun also,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The interesting thing is, though, we're not always right. These are just our opinions. This is just the way that we see football, and there are a lot more educated people who understand football, but just can't get their ideas across. And I'm not saying I'm right, because you could play that particular system at against a Crystal Palace, for example, and I'd just route one you. And then when somebody route ones you, you could play any system in the world. if they're just passing the ball 60 yards, and if you've got somebody like Mateta who gets his head on it all the time, that's no real formation in football, is it? So, like I say, it's just we're here just to try and offer an opinion.
We do, but Stu, I think people are getting bored of the tactic ball. We just need to
Yes, I'm
go
so
back
sorry, guys.
to our daily dose of dopamine
Yes.
and get back to
We love the tactical
transfers.
board.
We are linked to everyone. Sign
Yes.
this, sign that. So the latest news when it comes to transfers is this one. It's about Carlos, our good old friend Carlos. Let's see. Carlos Casemiro in advanced talk to leave Man United. He's from Sports Yasira and
Okay.
Hamad 1717. But there's more. So there came an update in Al Nasser are closing on signing Casemiro. Negotiations are at an advanced stage.
Interesting.
What is an advanced stage, Stu? Tell me.
Oh, fuck knows. I haven't got a clue. I really don't know. I do think it's a great move for him, though. I think Saudi League would be brilliant for Casemiro at his time. He's been doing all right for Brazil, hasn't he? He's back in Ancelotti's Brazilian team.
Yeah.
I think it'd be absolutely ideal. But Rushmano says he doesn't think there's much in him. I think if we could remove Casemiro and open up a space, and well, maybe you could show that other image, perhaps, that you've got.
Well,
of somebody in a red shirt.
Yes, but we will come to that. But not yet. Give me.
So there's another image. There's an image out there that Jarvis has got, which shows somebody in a red shirt. So maybe that's something. I don't.
Yeah, stay tuned. There will be more updates on transfers.
Well, I think personally, I think it'd be a great move for Casemiro.
Yeah,
great move for his family. He'll definitely 100% play for Brazil in the World Cup, which is what he wants to do. I think if he comes back to Manchester United, he's not playing. He doesn't go to the World Cup.
Mm-hmm. I think Casemiro was one of our better players last season.
He was, yes.
Are we ready to part ways with old Carlos Casemiro? Good old, he kept everything together when he came to the Europa League.
Yeah, but
he's our experience. Yes, a Rolls-Royce CV.
But this has been our problem: is we've been holding on to players a little bit too long, and maybe now for us to get a younger model in to free up a considerable wage bill, considerable wages off the wage bill, and maybe open a position, get somebody in on loan, get Sander Berge in, for example. I don't see.
We don't ever mention his name again. It always gets me sad thinking about Sander Berge.
Yes, well, I know.
How could we?
Well, we missed out on him, didn't we? And it's bad news. So I would like to see somebody come in. We're not going to have Bruno forever either. You've got to start forward thinking now. We need to start forward planning. And I think a lot of the guys were talking about, look, take the money for Bruno, 120 mil or whatever it was, in the summer, let's see what we can do with that over the next 2 or 3 years. So I think it'd probably be worth Casemiro moving on this summer, unfortunately. But I agree. His attitude is poor. Rushmano, absolutely. And I think that his attitude is salary. And if he gets injured again, Jarvis, for 6 months of the season, which he seems to get at least a 3-month injury per season, then you're back to square one again. So if he stays, he can't start for me. We've got to start throwing our money in under the Argate name.
Yeah.
And that should be the thing.
Yeah, but for me personally, I'm totally fine with letting Casemiro go at this moment. I think he's on high wages. He's declining. The only thing I will miss is the experience. I think sometimes we need experience.
I agree. I do agree.
Because I think it's an underestimated trait when it comes to football. It's experience. If you played the game and you played with older players yourself in your team while you were younger, you know how vital they are. And it's not just in the game itself. It's before the game, after the game, how they assess the game, how they help you improve, their calmness. Everything, just guiding you, being a mentor. So I'm a little bit worried because it looks like we got rid of Lindelof, we got rid of Ericsson, we are getting rid of a lot of like the experience of the team is lost, and we touched about that yesterday with Wiki sending in those brilliant
Victor's
questions.
questions were great, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing is though, and let's put this on the flip side.
Mhm.
Last season, the ball was coming back at an alarming rate. This season, it won't be the same. The ball's going to stick up there with Mbeumo. It's going to stick up there with Cunha. It's not going to come back as quickly as it has done. So I think our turnover, their pressing will be better up top with Mbeumo and Cunha. So I think our turnover and transition will be a lot smoother. You might see Casemiro have an absolute Peter Pan of a season with that because you are right, Trevor. By the way, replacing Bruno's goals and assists, difficult, for sure. So maybe Casemiro might be decent, but interesting.
I just want to bring up this because I think now it's time to reveal that other picture that came out from Center Devils today. 3 hours ago, there was no text, nothing.
Yes. Nicholas Jackson. Wow.
Yeah, well, it's Ugarte. No, it's Ugarte. Well, maybe I'm. It's not Ugarte. Yeah, well, Ugarte is the guy. Well, I was talking about Polinia.
Yes, he was. Yes.
He's 29 years of age.
Yeah, he is.
29 years of age, and he could actually be the experience we need if we are selling Casemiro. So I think if Casemiro goes, we will bring in Polinia on loan deal from Bayern.
I think that could well be the case.
And replace him with the experience that we lost by Casemiro.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be like a sensible move?
It would be a sensible move, but the guys are right. Let's be clear about it. The guys are right. A couple of days ago, Polinia 3 years ago would be more than a sensible move. It would have been the move. He was, Sander Berge wasn't he was doing very, very well at Sheffield United at that time, but he wasn't, he hadn't been unleashed on the Premier League fully, had he? Properly. Polinia moves, Sander Berge goes in, and you're not hearing anything about how big a loss Polinia was. That's football. So 3 years ago, absolutely. But he is wasting away at Bayern Munich. Could there be a new lease of life with that player? Who knows? But I would like to see, for me, I'd love to see Polinia 3 years ago. I mean, you asked Jarvis, Jarvis wouldn't even ask. He would just say Polinia. Even before the question came out, who would you want in midfield? He would know.
Because at this time, he was probably the best DM in the Premier League.
He was there.
Premier League. Yeah,
he was there. But it's a difficult one. But I think he could probably do us a job. Yeah, I do.
But talking about recruitment, this came in today, and no one has talked about this actually. But I think this is kind of a breaking news because dozens of scouts has left Man United in the last year, and Christopher Vivell has streamlined the department to 10 first-team scouts. And United want Vivell to take ownership of the reduced scout network after years of poor business in the transfer market. It's from Sam Luckhurst, Manchester Evening News. So Vivell is taking charge of the scouting department, and it looks like we are trying something different.
But again,
do you think is this a good idea? Is it the scout's fault?
It's something we touched on last year, didn't we? Last night, our scouting network has been abysmal over the last 10 years. We haven't gone out and found that one perler that other clubs have gone out and found. We just haven't. Our scouts haven't gone out there or we have found these pearls of wisdom in terms of Berge, in terms of Casado, in terms of Haaland. And the board, they're not strong enough to convince the board. So I think it's a brilliant move. Obviously, Mr. Pavel again has been listening to me and you, Jarvis, and has taken on board what we say, and so we should, because again, we seem to talk about something, and tomorrow morning it's in the news. It's really strange how that transpires. So I think it's a good move. I think if you've got a lean scouting department, Jarvis, that is at the top of its game, you don't need 100 scouts across the world. You need a pool of scouts. They've got a pool of scouts that work under them. They've got a pool of scouts that work under them, all across the globe, and you find the best players. What you do with a smaller pool of scouts is your criteria is set in stone. This is what I'm looking for. Don't come to me unless he's got all of these. I like it, I must admit.
10 first-team scouts. Well, playing the devil's advocate, how many scouts do you think teams like Chelsea have? How many scouts do PSG have? How many scouts do Liverpool
we've
have?
had it before, though.
Can we compete?
Well, we had it on before, as I touched on last night. Martin Ferguson, what did I say about Martin Ferguson? He was the head scout, and he had a small group of scouts that were spread across the globe, and he was picking out the right players. Chicharito, for example. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, for example. Two brilliant servants from Manchester United, found by Martin Ferguson and his scouting network. I think Vivell has looked at that and has done something very, very similar. Exactly right, Danny B. Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah, to secondary party independent scouts that based in South America and Africa. I think it would do. Yeah.
Okay. We should give ourselves a bit of credit, pal, because it's exactly what we spoke about last night.
Yeah,
we should.
We did.
You heard it here first last night on Tactical Devils.
And also, when you take into account the new model of scouting, it's mostly data driven, stats wise.
It's all data driven. Yeah.
So you know who to pick. Unless you're talking about really, really young players like 15, 14, 15, 16-year-olds. Then you need to have an eye, because the stats will probably lie when it comes to a lot of these, because you don't know their attributes.
There's no practice, is there? Exactly. So you see the stats, but you need to see the practice. You need to see exactly what they're going to deliver under pressure and that type of thing.
But when you think of something, because I saw Samik's football yesterday, and he talked about Man United, and that Man United is still a massive global brand, and we could still sign players even though we're not in the Premier League and all of that. But my counter to that is, for example, a player that could score 20 goals at Aston Villa. If he scores 12 goals with Man United, it will turn the player into a global brand himself. It's not just a club that's a global brand. And that kind of exposure and recognition is huge, and the money that comes with it is part of the draw why players choose to come to Man United, not choosing to go to Chelsea or Aston Villa. And I think that's exactly where I think the problem lies, that we attract players for the wrong reasons. Too often it feels like we're signing players who are more focused on coming in, boosting their own profile than actually improving the team, and then we get the classic player FC thing, and we end up stuck in those endless debates whether their salary matches their contribution, and when they overperform, it's almost impossible to move the player on.
Yeah, and this is exactly what Wendy's talking about. She never thought it was a scouting network. She thought it was the commercial value, and I think she's right. Woodward did look at the commercial value first and foremost, rather than actually look at what the player can bring. And we talk about player profile all the time. We're not talking about what he can do on the pitch. It's what he does off the pitch. His attitude, is he lazy? Is he easy to get on with? Is his ego too big? That type of thing.
Yeah. But basically, what happened with Man United now, in short, that we're still a big name, and a global brand, but we're pulling the wrong kind of players for the wrong reasons.
Which I think that's going to completely change this summer. I think we get the right players for the right reasons this summer.
Yeah, but maybe this is the key for us getting back to our former glory. Trying to get the right players in, and it's not just about attributes; it's more about attitude.
Yeah, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah. And players like Cunha, like Mbeumo has the great attitude, and we are
Oh,
not.
brilliant. They're great signings, they are. Brilliant signings.
Mm. So I think we just, I don't know. I'm a little bit torn about this Ineos model. We talked about it yesterday. Cutting costs, revenue is down,
Yeah, I know.
hard to compete. So we will see. But I think we have a chance to get back. But I think we're doing a bit of a gamble.
Bernard, great to see you again, Bernard. Really appreciate it, pal. We're going to
Yeah.
be back Thursday night. We should have Graham Bailey. Well, we got Graham Bailey coming on Thursday night.
Yes.
It's
That
likely
will
to be
be
8:00.
8 o'clock. Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be an early one.
Pure transfers.
Yeah, Graham
Yeah.
Bailey.
Yeah. I would also like to ask him a little bit of questions, how you get your information, how it all works. I want to know about the agent, the journalist business, how to get credible sources, and if you're told things that you can't publish, and stuff, and you just have to wait.
Yes. Oh God,
Yeah.
You're under embargo a lot of the time.
There's so much
NDA,
to.
you've got to sign on the occasion. Yeah, it's really interesting. Really interesting.
What is Wendy saying? I'm going to guess that the scouts all over the world were only compensated if United signed them players. For the scouts, it's beneficial for them in their country to say they are a United scout. Yeah.
Correct. Absolutely correct. Yeah, correct.
Yeah. So I think it ends the Casemiro debate. I have a couple of more updates. There's some breaking on Johnny Evans.
Yes.
Apparently, he's not leaving.
Yes.
Let's see. So this came in. Breaking: Johnny Evans is in advanced talk with Man United over a staff role that will tap into his knowledge of youth development. And United want to retain Evans at the club as his football experience is seen as vital to keep within the club, as reported by Laurie Whitwell.
I think it's a great move. They've done something similar with Phil Jones, by the way. Phil Jones works with the under-18s. I think it's a really, really valuable addition to even as a mentor for these young kids. You need somebody to advise and let these players know, these younger players, what it's like to be a Manchester United footballer. And you've got somebody in who did that in the Fergie years. I think it's a great move. Brilliant move for us.
Yeah.
It won't be expensive. A couple of $100,000 a year. And it'll be worth every penny, I think.
Yeah, I see a lot of people are positive. I think this is a good move, and we talked about this a lot of times. We should just keep Evans on the scouting team.
Yeah, it's a great move for us.
And also, you get that experience in the club, so whenever it is needed, you can go and talk to him, and share.
Mark, good to see you, mate.
Yeah, big up, Mark. Good to see you. So yeah, it's an interesting move, and I think it's just keeping the legacy going. The experience needed. He's won with Leicester, and he won the league with Man United. No, yeah, he won the league with Man United in his first, didn't he?
I think so. Yeah, very close.
2013.
Yeah, Catherine. I know Mark Nurse, who comes on the channel occasionally, is huge. He knows a lot about our youth. So it'd be ideal. So we'll ask Mark that question because he would be ideal. We'll try and get Mark on, actually, Mark Nurse, because he knows a lot about the youth. He follows the youth, but he would have a better opinion on that than us. But we certainly we'll ask him that question, Catherine, because it's a great question. Fred the Red, Phil Jones is teaching players how to feign injury, keep your high wages. I think he's been Luke Shaw's mentor. Absolutely. Great one. Phil Jones will let players know how to get injured for years and get well and get paid. Yeah, get well paid. Yeah, he's working in the emergency department at United. Absolutely. Good old Phil Jones.
Well, I would say Johnny Evans is a true professional, out and out professional.
Brilliant. And don't forget, we kept Tom Heaton around as well, which again I think is a good move. Knows how to be a professional footballer. Has been there for 20 odd years, 25 years, hasn't he, Tom Heaton? Johnny Evans, 20 years. Absolutely. Great role models, I think. You never
Role
seen
model,
Johnny Evans out on the piss, have you? Snorting coke, snorting coke, even, or anything like that, doing laughing gas, anything like that, shagging grannies, nothing like that. He's a brilliant role model.
Yeah, he is. Another update. It's from Fabrizio. It's about Mason Mount. And Mason Mount intends to stay at Manchester United. Nothing new, but I think he's tough to offload.
You could have
His
written
injury
that,
record is yeah.
You could have written that, Jarvis. Oh, what am I going to do now? All right, Mason Mount intends to stay at Man United. There you go.
Well, the context is this one. I only have the picture of Transfers MUFC, but that's Rashmano's channel. Go subscribe on X. Transfers MUFC, always reliable news. And the context is Mason Mount being asked about other clubs on loan, but Man United happy to sell if suitable offers on the table. So Man United are playing with the thought of selling Mason Mount if the right offers comes, but Mason Mount has made it clear he wants to stay at Man United, so he's not leaving. I'm not fucking leaving.
I'm not leaving. I'm on too much money. I'm not going anywhere. Look, he did all right last couple of games. See what he's like on tour. You know, if we can keep him, if he plays up until Christmas, we as fans may have a different attitude towards him. But right now, we don't have that different attitude. We've got nothing really to go on, have we, to suggest that he can play 6 months without getting injured.
But we brought in Cunha and Mbeumo.
He's not going to play ahead of those.
Take a hint, for God's sake.
Yes, he's not going to play ahead of those. Yeah. So, look, you know, at the end of the day, if Mount comes on for 20 minutes, half an hour, and scores every 4 games, people are going to say, yeah, keep him. If he doesn't, we're all going to want his head by Christmas, aren't we? Yeah, that's his issue. That's his problem. But United have got, as a club, start really. Tyrone's in the house. Hi, Tyrone. Has got to really think about this and say, no, you're going out on loan. We need you fit. You're going out on loan. Prove that you can play 6 months straight, and then we'll talk again. But right now, we're not extending your contract in 2 years' time, and we want you out on loan. So it's up to you. This is what's going to happen. We're not extending your contract. No dicking about with him. We're not doing it. So either go out on loan or prove to me that you can stay fit. Because if you don't want to do either of those, you'll appear as and when. It's got to be. You've got to do something with these players.
This is never-ending story when it comes to Man United.
It is, isn't it? It's another player. It's another player we're talking about. Injury. Luke Shaw, another player we're talking about. Luke Shaw should be gone this summer. He should have gone already. He should have been gone. You're gone. We don't want you around. You've got to go out on loan. We're not renewing your contract. It's just not happening. Find a club. Just find a club.
Preaching to the choir. But what are the devilish tacticos saying? There should be penalties in place with contracts if players don't contribute. Yeah, or just pay them by merit, not for the performance-based salaries. Well, it's hard. We have to all agree with all the other clubs have to agree. And Jarvis Malmin is more positive. Say if Mount finds his form back and stays fit, he did play 50% of games last season. There is a player there. Yeah, we saw that. He came on in the Europa League. I think was it the semi-final? Scored a couple of goals.
Semi-final, got a couple of goals. Yeah.
So he's definitely a player, but his problem is he's not reliable.
He's not reliable. He's not getting in front. He's not getting in front of Mbeumo or.
No. Can you ever imagine Mason Mount coming in next season and playing 40 to 45 games without getting injured? I don't think so. I think he's come to a stage of his career where he's bound to be injury prone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, at that
When
age.
we're going on summer holidays, you're going marine training, according to Trev. You've kept that quiet from me, fella.
Ah,
We've got some plans, but the big one for me is me and the lads are going to Hungary to the F1 for a few days. So I'm quite looking forward to that. And Jarvis is going away with his mates to an unknown destination. He just gets told where he's going and how much it's going to cost, and he just has to pay, which I like. And he only finds out when he gets to the airport, which I like. Like stuff like that. It's brilliant. But we'll go away in a cottage somewhere. It's what we tend to do. I travel a lot with work, as you guys know. I just get pissed off of airports. I hate them. They're so boring.
I'm the same. I'm the same.
Yeah. Jarvis travels a lot as well. He's in Spain actually soon, aren't you, on business?
Well, yeah, I'm going to Spain, and yeah, I'm going with my mates, and yeah, I'll go to Greece with meet my kids this summer just to
That's right. But me and
relax.
Jarvis are planning on something.
Yeah.
If we can get our dates to align, because the date we were going to do it, he's in Spain on business, so we're just trying to find some alternative dates where both our calendars are agreeable. And there may be something for the Devilish Tacticos to really enjoy. Who knows?
Yeah. Stu and Jarvis finally together in one studio.
In
two.
one studio, yes. That's the plan. That is the plan. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the plan. What else we got? Lushmano, decent bench. Absolutely. I think he is a decent bench player. I think we'd agree on that, wouldn't we, pal?
But he's on two. How much is he on? 250?
He's on about 250 a week. Yeah.
Yeah. And always injury prone. I think he's a player that we really should try to offload. Same with Luke Shaw. I think they're not the future. They're the past of Man United, and they can't be trusted.
Yeah. Tyrone has got a question for us. What kind of work do you guys do? Jarvis, I'll let you go first.
Yeah, I work in what do you call it? I run a garage. Hire business.
And you got a factor as well.
Yeah.
But you did have a claim to fame. Come on, tell everyone your claim to fame.
Well, yeah. One day.
You should.
I had the guys coming over with what's the name?
The Grand Tour. Clarkson, Hammond, and
Top Gear guys.
Yeah, the Top Gear guys. Yeah.
Yeah. One day they just came into my store, and they did the shoot there. So
and they bought stuff off you, didn't they?
You say again?
They bought some windscreen wipers, didn't they, for the
yes,
the Subaru? It's the one that appears in is a Scandi flick. So when they go into a shop, it's Jarvis's shop.
It is.
But Jarvis were you across the road in your office at the time, or were you actually in the shop?
Well, I couldn't be in the scene, though. But it was funny. But they are professionals, so I couldn't interrupt them.
No,
genius at work.
Well, genius at work, you are.
Yeah.
So Jarvis does that, and I'm a commercial director for a automotive website, and I'm also a journalist within motorsport, as a lot of you know. So I go and I sent Jarvis some clips the other day from Silverstone when I was at the MotoGP, and not saying anything, but I happened to have a whiz by Mr. Keanu Reeves. Lucky me. Yeah, no, I couldn't get the camera.
One. He's the one, He's the chosen one.
You are sorry.
Isn't he the chosen one? The Matrix?
He is. Yes, he is. He is John Wick himself. I couldn't get the camera out. I was thinking about it, so I get the phone out, but it's not what you do.
You're too old. You're too old. Yeah. If your kids were around, you could do a selfie.
Yes. But we are very lucky what me and Jarvis do also, because we work in automotive and we're in very similar businesses as it happens. We get taken and we get asked to do a lot of really cool stuff by the brands. So the brands are always taking us, and across the globe really. So we're very, very he is a very cool guy, by the way. We're very, very lucky. I bumped into Guy Martin that weekend as well. And Randy Momola, if you all know your bikes, Randy Momola is an absolute legend on the bikes. And but we're very lucky. We get to see all these. You get to mingle with them, and it becomes second nature, really, doesn't it, Jarvis? To be fair.
Yeah. Do you drive a Morris Minor?
As a daily driver? Well, no. Trev, I've just updated my daily driver to an apt ABT Formenta. It's a limited edition car. It's absolutely brilliant. 370 brake. I love it. I was telling Mr. B about it actually because he just picked up an RSQ5, I think. Jarvis is a Tesla driver. But no, I don't have a Morris Minor. I quite like one actually, but I don't have one. As a Wazzle is, as we call it. So, Wizard, I have been and interviewed. I haven't done British touring cars or British superbikes for a while. In fact, I was due to go to Alton Park a few weeks ago, but where that was, unfortunately, there was quite a nasty. Well, there was a fatality. It was a horrible pile-up. Alton Park's a really difficult circuit. If any of you don't know, for bikes, the undulation is quite bad. But we haven't done British touring cars for a couple of years, but I know quite a few of the drivers. I've interviewed quite a few of the drivers in the past. Again, a lot through sponsorships that some of the brands do. But yes, we have worked in that as well. Yeah. It's really, we're really quite lucky, aren't we, Jarvis? As I say,
we are. Yeah, 100%
well.
blessed.
And the tires are brilliant because the tire people will take you driving, and that's just ace, and they get you to wreck the tires if you can.
There is some updates apparently on Jadon Sancho. Mick Ruby just shared this, and there are some. Let's have a closer look. So Mick Ruby retweets this and says, Jadon Sancho, after checking reports from United Exclusive, I can confirm through my own sources this is genuine. And just in, Fenerbahçe, Turkish team, has made serious progress on a deal for Jadon Sancho.
Fenerbahçe, wow.
Talks are moving forward. Yeah.
Is that Mourinho? Is that where Mourinho is at Fenerbahçe?
Is it Fenerbahçe?
Yeah, Ollie's at Besiktas.
Yeah,
I'm sure Mourinho's at Fenerbahçe. I know the guys will tell us. Wendy, that's massively interesting because the off-road side of JLR is absolutely brilliant. Crikey, I'm going there next week. Anyway, exactly. They've got a factory and they've got this brilliant test track on the back of their factory at Wendy. And the JLR sometimes take journalists down and they run you around the test track in all sorts of stuff, and that is absolutely brilliant. They share it with Aston Martin, Gaydon. I just couldn't think of it, Jarvis, for a second. Gaydon, but it's absolutely brilliant. And you get to do loads of stuff, and you get to rip them around the track as well, and that is a lot of fun. But you're not allowed to photograph it when you go in. You're under NDA. You have to sign an NDA. Because what happens is on the test track, you'll see future cars and what they call mule cars. So mule cars are usually an old body top, whatever. So it might be an old Range Rover body top, but the underpinnings of the brand new vehicle underneath. So you can't really tell what it is. And they call that a mule car. You see loads of those going around. It's really, really interesting place, that is. Crikey.
Thank you for the updates.
So sorry, guys. We'll go back to football.
You opened up a box.
I've opened up a Pandora's box here, haven't I? Yeah, sorry. Anyway, football. Jadon Sancho.
Let's go back. Tom Porter, big up, Tom Porter. Good to see you.
Yeah,
and it's Jose Mourinho and Mark confirms it. Said this was reported 2 hours ago. Yes, it was Jose. We played them long. So yeah, just in Fenerbahçe, I'm at the stage where I don't care how much money or whatever. I just want him gone.
I want him gone too.
Yeah, I think he's a big baby. I think he's so immature in the way, and I think he has given up football. That's just my thoughts on Jadon
He's
Sancho. So
pathetic.
I don't
Yeah,
know
he's
what the devilish tactique is, what you guys think, but say Sancho needs to go. I'm so sick of doing this dance circus with players, Jadon Sancho, Garnacho, Rashford,
oh yeah.
blah blah blah, all the time. Get the f out of my club. I don't want you.
Well said, Jarvis.
Your
Well said.
attitude is just wrong.
I
And
echo that, and you can quote the tactical devils. We echo that just off.
yeah.
Jose, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Jose must love us, Manchester United, so much he can't bear to see what Sancho is doing, so we'll take him off our hands.
Rob
Absolutely.
Taff, second that. Sancho, please go. Otherwise, sticking with the
Loan him to
reserves.
Salford.
Yeah.
Yeah, great one. I'd loan him to Salford.
But this is Yala says we United need 25 million. It's for PSR reasons.
You've mentioned that before, haven't you?
We talked about the PSR reason, but I think we can sell him quite low right now because we made a profit on the loan to Dortmund because he
We
played
made
to the
some money off
Champions League
Dortmund.
finals. I
Yeah,
think we made about
yeah.
5 millions, and now we made about 5 millions with Chelsea, so we can deduct like 10 millions. And I think
And we'll get a loan deal as well from Fenerbahçe. We'll just have to pay his salary, won't we? Or a lot of his salary.
if someone can check out the how the Sancho deal, because I don't think it's 25 million, Ciala. I think it's less. I think we made a little bit of money, so I think it's 15 something that we could deduct 10 million or something.
Well,
But
anything we could do to get
I
rid
might
of
be
him,
wrong.
please go. Please go.
Please go. Oh, Rosmano comes in and confirms. Okay, Yala, you were right. I was wrong. My fellow
Wendy's in here.
Norwegian.
This is quite good. Fenerbahçe bought Fred for 10 and is now asking 17. Fair play to
Mm,
Fenerbahçe is all I can say. So you do business. It's exactly how you do business.
mm.
But what we do, we buy for 90 and sell for 20. So
Mm.
we don't do it the right way. But other players, other clubs do it. Yeah.
Yeah, and Rob Taff also comes in and say, I understand players like Eriksen, Casemiro staying
Correct.
on for the
Correct.
final year.
Correct.
Money for family first, but Sancho is just dancing around like a brat.
Right. Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. You should pin that comment because it's absolutely right.
How old is he? 23?
He's
He's
about
young.
23, 24. He retired, he's an idiot. He's not going to the World Cup. He should be doing everything he can to get to the World Cup, Sancho, but he can't be bothered. It's embarrassing. Embarrassing for a young man not to want to represent England in the World Cup. It's embarrassing.
But one day I think he will wake up and smell the coffee and see for himself why he pissed away his career doing nothing. He could have done so much more. And the thing is, money won't make him happy. When
well,
he's
if he's
old,
not happy
when
now,
he's
he's
as
a
old as
millionaire
we
now.
are, he will sit there in remorse
Yeah,
of
he's a millionaire
wasting
now,
his
Jarvis.
career.
You're right. Money's not going to make him happy.
No,
It just isn't going to make him happy.
he's a rich man already. What
It
is
is.
another 10 billion pounds is going to help him?
He's an idiot. He's an idiot.
Yeah, he is
Enough of
100%.
that. Enough of Sancho. We've had enough of him.
Yeah. Tyrone says he's still 25, and Rosmano comes in and says Sancho is all about the cash. Yeah. I
Food tonight,
56
56 likes. Let's try and get those likes up because we can. There's 202 watching, combination of Twitter and X. It's been a really good show again. It's kind of flown by. We've done an hour and 40 on a slow news day.
Yeah, there's not much to talk about. We can talk about Stu's
kind of
car
good, really.
business. So,
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry, I bored everyone with my car business. Yeah, sorry about that. But I'm not a megastar like Jarvis there, having the grand tour guys come into his office.
that was just pure luck.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Steve Rebello comes in and say, love the show. He's new to the channel. Big up, Steve Rebello.
Big up, Steve.
And I love that name, Steve Rebello.
Yeah, it's kind of cool, isn't it? Yeah, it's a cool name. Yeah. Please like and subscribe, Steve, if you like. What we do. You come at a strange time for us. We're very normally in the season, Steve. We'll do tactical breakdowns, video analysis of Manchester United's matches. So please stick with us. It does get better than this, I promise.
Do you guys want to do a Q&A at the last 10 minutes? Do a 10-minute Q&A?
Yeah, I think
Are you up for it, guys?
Trev's got some cues in, hasn't he?
But do you have any topics you want us to cover? I have no more. Every topic is covered. I no pictures left. Maybe we could discuss a little bit about what questions to Graham Bailey coming in Thursday.
Put some questions in for Graham Bailey. But while we're doing that, Jarvis can play the Q&A jingle, and we've got a few questions which we can go through. And
let's do the Q&A jingle.
Yeah, let's do the jingle. The jingle and a half. Welcome. Hey, he's done it again. Roll up, and welcome to the Monday night Jarvis Corner Q&A. The questions are firing in already, which is absolutely brilliant. There's 203 watching, so thank you all for that. We will start with, I don't know if Gavin's still watching, but what's the idea of the intro? You'll have to ask Jarvis that one because he was the one to come up with it. I quite like it, but it depicts Manu Jarvis's era of football. Yeah. That's what it does. But
tells you where we are from, where we're coming from, and how we see Man United. Because I came in before the glory years, and Stu came in long before the glory years, and I feel that makes us a little bit, I don't know, when it comes to football, that we have a perspective on things, and I did never take it for granted that we were supposed to win the league every year, and I was happy every time we won. And I also, when we came to 2014 and things was going south, I felt that now is the time to support Man United even more, to step it up a notch. It's something else being a glory hunter and representing Man United when we are winning, but when we were doing badly, I doubled it down and did my best to support the club, because I felt now is the time for me to be that guy, and I think Man United need fans that actually support the club. So that was my thoughts, and the intro, it tells you about the time. And if you look closely, the last picture of the referee from the World Cup, I believe it's the friend of the channel, Keith Hackett, who's the referee standing in between. I think it's Lothar Matthäus and the Italian guy.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah.
Is it Bergomi or the captain of Italia 90, captain in the semi-final, when Italy lost on penalties to a West Germany that went on to win the World Cup that year. Well, yeah.
Well, Gavin, if you're still watching, pal, I hope that's answered your question. Mark's put in the chat, Sancho's value to United is about 17 million euros. We paid 85. We got about 5 or 17. Thanks for that, Mark. It's I agree with that.
Thank you. Because that was what I thought. Because of the money we get that Borussia Dortmund gave us and Chelsea gave us, you could deduct something. It's not 25.
And then Catherine said he would win in a fight. We covered that one. So Trev's got a load of questions in. So let's have a look, see what we've got. So Trev says, is there any freakish stories to tell the guys, either seeing a ghost, etc., anything funny that ever happened in your life worth sharing? Interesting, that one.
Freakish I don't believe in like the ghost stories and stuff like that. But I have one story, because one day I was leaving work. It was snowing outside, and in the wintertime it's dark all the time. And I got into my car, and we have to scrape the windows and everything, the windshield to see. And I did that and sat into the car, and I was backing out from the parking. And right the moment I was about to back out, I don't know, some thought struck me, and He just told me to step out of the car and go back and check. And when I did it, it was a woman carrying a roll-on suitcase right behind my car. So I was almost
Jesus.
going to back her over. And I
Jesus.
don't know why, but something just told me in my mind that I should go check. So it happened to me. I don't know if it was pure coincidence, but sometimes stranger things happens.
Yeah, doesn't it just?
Yeah.
I've never had anything with the paranormal. When I've achieved and done such a lot in my life, I've been really, really lucky. But I guess if I was to, I guess it would be my recovery from cancer, I guess. When I got struck down with cancer when I was 18, and I was really playing a great standard of football. I was loving life. And I got cancer when I was 18. I had this massive lump on my neck, and like every dumb moron, child, man at that age just said, "Oh, it'll be fine. It'll go down next week and whatever." Anyway, my mum made me go to the doctors. Cut long story short, I was 7 days away from dying because it would have burst and would have killed me with all the poison. So I guess that's something poignant that definitely worth sharing. It's a life thing that's worth sharing.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what I did learn from it. And what I learned from it was there's 0 point feeling sorry for yourself. There's 0 point blaming anything that's happened in your life for anyone. It's blaming anyone for mistakes that you have made that you think is other people's fault. It isn't. Everything is your fault, and you're the one that controls your life. So I guess when we talk about Sancho and we talk about Garnacho, I've got little time for these idiots because not only myself, but there's a lot of people that were lucky enough to survive disease, and there's millions of people that have been unfortunate not to survive disease. So that would be something I would share with you guys. I don't share that a lot because it's not easy to talk about, but I think we know each other well enough now to be able to share that part in my life. So Trevor, I hope that one answers that question to you. I like this one. If you win the lottery, what would you do? And he doesn't want the run-of-the-mill stuff, so it's not a house or cars or anything like
that.
I'd pay Jadon Sancho off. That's what I'd do. I'd get him gone. Sancho, fuck off.
I would just do the sensible thing. I know I'll put the money away. I'll try to invest them as best as possible and share them with my family and friends, and loved ones. So, it's. I've learned life is not about money. It's about moments, and when you have kids, you understand. A lot of you have kids already, so you know what I'm talking about. And I just want to live healthy and be a part of their lives as long as possible. That and I have enough, so I don't need to win the lottery. But if I do, I would sure make sure that they will have a good life, and all that, So yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Actually, it's you take care of the people that you love and you care about, and I think you try and take care of people that you want to take care of people. I'm a big supporter, and I always try and do something at Christmas for kids that are less fortunate than me and the family. Even if it's a small £5 gift card, I try and give some of those out to a local charity. So that's what I would do, and I'd be a little bit more generous. But and if we could afford it, me and Jarvis and all the devilish tacticos, we'd get a consortium together and we'd kick the Glazers and we're kicking us at the club that we hate. Also, thank you all very, very much for your comments. That's very, very kind of you. I really, really appreciate it.
A lot of love from the devilish tacticos. And,
yes. No.
And by the way, it's easy. I just want to add, when it comes to money, it's easy for me because I'm coming from a more privileged position. I think that I know there's a lot of people struggling in this world, and struggling to get ends to meet, and with the current market prices skyrocketing and people struggling. So yeah, I understand, as best as I can.
No, absolutely. We're all life affects everybody differently, doesn't it?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
we built such a community. Well, me and Jarvis actually feel we built such a community here. It's we should be able to open and share, and maybe we don't do enough sharing, Jarvis. Perhaps I don't know, but anyway.
But I have to say, people have sent me DMs and told me stories about their life, and
it's great.
There's a lot of people have experienced tragedies in their life, and that's life. But I'm blessed and I'm happy that at least we can put some lights into their life and some
Absolutely.
enjoyment. Yeah.
No, I agree. Trev, we'll do your other question a bit later. Stephanie's come in with a question. Do you think, as it stands, our best midfield quartet isn't strong enough in two positions? Yes, 100%.
Best midfield quarter isn't strong enough.
Quartet, she's talking about our midfield four. I totally agree.
Yeah,
At least two positions. Yeah, 100%. Six, for me, we're nowhere near strong enough as a six. We really aren't.
But it could work with the current setup, as you said, because we have two number 10s who actually can hold up the ball. And if we get a decent striker who also can hold up the ball, it will be more easy for the midfielders because you don't have to run up and down constantly. The back and forward football, the basketballification of football, as we talk about.
Yeah.
So it would be much easier because I don't think there's many midfielders that would actually work in this setup, because you have to run incredibly more than expected and cover a lot of ground. So maybe we will see some of our midfielders actually proving us wrong next season when we have a proper setup up front. Maybe that's why Amorim is putting all his resources into our attack, because he's seen this is where the shoe, what's the saying,
all his eggs in one basket. But no. No, but you're right. We have not been athletic in the midfield position for a long time. And Herrera was probably our most athletic midfielder. When he was playing for the club, we haven't had that athlete that can go box to box and can run box to box for 106 minutes. We just haven't had that. But I'm in agreement with Steph. We did mention it. We got the tactics board out a bit earlier when we were talking about positional play with Cunha and Mbeumo. And me and Jarvis are in agreement, as well as the devilish tacticos, that we think they should be able to hold the ball better, and we should give our midfield chance to recalibrate, during transition. So hopefully, but I do think we do need to strengthen in six. For sure, I really do. I think we need another 8.
Ideally, yes.
Those would be my two positions. Trev, I know you got a couple of questions in, pal.
Rushmano just gifted 5 memberships.
Oh, sorry, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that. Let's do that, and then we'll get back to the questions. Rushmano, you absolute legend. You've got it going yesterday. Now, don't forget, Jarvis, reverse back from... Give yourself room. Take a deep breath. Come on now. Deep breath. Come on. Hey, that's as good as it's been. Well done. I like the little improv. I love the improv. Rushmano, absolute legend. I haven't got my phone up, so I don't know who's got the memberships. But
I have my phone up, and Mark Langridge just received a membership from Rushmano.
Brilliant.
Big up, Mark. Be cool. New member.
Be cool as well. Great.
The Vutinator, one of our moderators. Congratulations, Vutinator. Big up, Vuti. And Victor J received a membership, and GIA. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Vicky's gifted a membership as well, bless her. Oh, sweetheart, thank you. Oh,
thank you. Thank you, Vicky. Well,
who's the recipient of that?
The Pied Piper.
The Pied Pipers, he's in. Yeah, you can do better than that. Come on.
Okay.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you, Rushmano.
Thank you, Vicky.
You're both absolute legends.
Who received the membership from Wiki? It's Mishari.
Yeah.
I don't
Him.
have my glasses on.
Yeah. Anyway, Mishara, get your glasses on like me. Hey,
Mishari Al-Hanad.
Oh, brilliant.
Mishari
We could be the
Al-Hanad.
spectacle geeks of the Tactical Devils. We got some absolutely brilliant questions coming in now. Let's have a quick look.
I just remembered, if I won the lottery, I would take a laser operation.
Oh,
on my
laser eye
eye.
surgery.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
can see clearly again. For you guys, just for you guys.
Vicky's in with a question. I have a question for you both. What side of the bed do you sleep? Closer to the window or to the door? Well, Vicky, sweetheart, you know which side of the bed I sleep on. Oh, fuck, I wasn't supposed to say. Sorry, Trev. I take that back, Trev. It doesn't happen. I like to sleep by the window. That's my preferred side. Jarvis?
I prefer to sleep on the door side.
You're the door side. I'm the window side.
Yes.
But
I sleep on the right side of the bed.
Yeah. So I like the window side. So depending on which side the window, it's either the right or the left. But it depends which the window. As it happens, my window's on the right, so I sleep on the right side as well. Right. So what have we got now? Vicky, I hope that answers your question, sweetheart. Lovely question. I'll do that. Oh, Rob taps in with a brilliant one. Celebrities that you've met. I've seen Orville fly. Jarvis, I'll let you go with that one. I mean, you're not going to beat my John Wick one, are you? But you know,
I have no one besides the Top Gear guys.
You've met the Top Gear guys.
Yeah. So
they're big.
It's all three of them, might I say?
Yes.
Besides that, is there anyone else? Footballers, Morten Gams Pedersen.
He's a legend, isn't he?
I played against him.
Yes.
Well, I don't have anyone. Not that I can think of right now.
I don't know whether do I go with my John Wick one again, Jarvis, or do I do that?
Apparently, J-Lo and Ben Affleck was on a boat. What do you call it? A cabin cruiser where we passed outside Capri. But I didn't see them. But I read it online right afterwards. So I was wondering, the big cabin cruiser with a helicopter on the deck. So
yeah, and it was them, was it?
Yeah, it was them.
Yeah,
J-Lo and Ben Affleck.
Yeah, I've been really, really quite fortunate with people I've met. I mean, if you know your motorbikes, I've interviewed Valentino Rossi. I've been massively, fortunate. Had a was by the one and only Keanu Reeves, and that was in Silverstone in the journalist VIP area. Footballer wise, Eric Cantona, Andy Cole, again, really, really fortunate to have met both of those. But Bobby Charlton when I was young, so I'm going to go with Bobby Charlton. Sir Bobby. I'm going to go with Sir Bobby.
He's a legend.
Has been my an absolute legend. But I have been really, really, really fortunate. Working in motorsport, occasionally you do see. I mean, crikey! I was on in 2017. I was on
Pandora's box opened. Well, okay.
Yeah. I was on the grid in Le Mans. I was taking some pictures. And I got ushered out the way, and I thought, "Well, what do this is? I wonder if it's like Sir Jackie Stewart or somebody like that." It was some flouncy Spanish tennis player called Rafael Nadal. He got about 4 security guards around him. I'm thinking, why? Why? So he said, "Do you want a picture?" No, I'm not interested in that. So I went off, and actually, I'll tell you, he was on the grid that day, Roger Daltrey. From the Who, but I didn't get a picture of him either. Yeah, I didn't get a picture of him either. But yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, interesting. I'd love to know what celebrities you guys have seen as well. Love the Who. Yeah, he's brilliant voice.
Jarvis Malmin apparently met Scarlett. I think it's Scarlett Johansson. She was filming a non-important
Oh, nice.
Marvel movie in my part of Norway.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice. Yes.
That's one I would love to meet Scarlett.
Yes.
She's a beautiful woman.
Where are we now? Let's have a look. She's actually very pretty. Tulip. Rob Tuff, I hope that's answered your question, pal. I would love to know who you've met as well. Any celebrities, let us know, please. Tulip. Oh, no. Well, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Tom, brilliant. Yeah, brilliant. Tulip says, why would we sign that 200k a week in Brentford, Bloom, Blue, and Nkunku? No thanks. Me and Jarvis and the Devilish Tacticos are 100% with you, pal. Make no mistake about it, we're not interested in him. Let's see, what else have we got? We know, sweetheart, but we love you. The Devilish Tacticos love you, and we're all here for you, sweetheart. Mwah. Big kiss, big hugs. Catherine, big up Vicky. Catherine, who do you think will win the World Cup? Oh, great question. Great question. Great question.
Next year.
I'm going. I hate to say it because I know they've just lost in the Nations League, but I think Spain.
Because of Lamine Yamal?
No, not just necessarily him, but I think they've got an all-round good side, haven't they, Spain? You know, they've got Zubamendi, they've got Lamine Yamal, they've got an all-round, Nico Williams. They've got an all-round good side. I think it would have to be Spain for me. I would love to say Argentina because it's my favourite football kit on the planet, international wise, but they're not good enough. They're not good enough. I don't see Brazil being good enough. Belgium are too old. Portugal, I don't think have got it. I don't think Portugal are enough. France, definitely not. I think for me, by far, I think for me it's going to be Spain. Oh, what's he getting? What is he getting?
Okay. And I say if we qualify. I think
he's getting the Norwegian.
One of the teams that actually can do something is Norway.
Why
Norway
not?
you say Norge.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Yeah, why not? I love that scarf, by the way.
Yeah. Friend gave it to me when we went to Ullevål, the Wembley of Norway, and
that is a cool.
Norway played, yeah,
that is a cool scarf. Catherine, I hope tell us in the comments, by the way, who you think will win the World Cup as well.
But Norway will win. Haaland, Sørloth.
You got to live with this, haven't you? Bumped into Quentin Fortune at the Shard one season. No, he was a brilliant player for us, Quentin Fortune. He didn't get anywhere near. Oh, Georgie, sincerely apologise. We've got a super sticker.
Thank you, Georgie Ivanov, coming in with a BGN. What kind of
that
currency?
Must be his currency, yeah. Jarvis is going to give you the flute of appreciation.
BGN is Bulgarian leva.
Thank you so much.
Leva. Big up to Georgie Ivanov.
Thank you. Appreciation.
Where is my flute? There it is.
And give it a good blow. Give it a good blow.
Is at it again.
That was a good one. Georgie, thank you.
Big up, Georgie.
You are very welcome to Vicky, Rushmano, Georgie, anyone that gives memberships or super chats or super stickers. I don't know what's a super sticker, by the way, but thank you anyway. We are hugely grateful for that. Just going back to Tyrone's, I think Quentin Fortune was very thank you. Was very underrated at Manchester United, Jarvis. So I'd like to meet Quentin Fortune. What a chat.
Do you think it was underrated? I think it was a little bit weak when he played, with the physicality. I think it was a little bit too physical Premier League in the 90s for him to be a part of the Ferguson team and establish himself as a first team player.
Probably.
To be honest, but he's a likable guy, and he's always smiling, and I think he's honest. He looks like a genuine person.
Yeah, he does. Bring back the recorder. I will try. I used to play the recorder when I was a tiddler. I wasn't very good, mind you, but I think I played 3 Blind Mice on it. Something like that. Jay United, by the way, legend. Has been a member for you, Jay. If there's anything we can do, if you got any problems, you know where we are. You can reach out to us or the Devilish Tacticos. But great to have you. Have you back, mate. Family comes first, as always. Yolam Amin thinks that Portugal just beat Spain. That's right. So maybe Yolam Amin is going for Portugal. Fred the Red is going for Man United. England. Even. I don't know what's going on with me tonight. I think I'm all over the place. Tyrone thinks France. Wow. Trevor Wade meant, yes, Angela Lansbury. She was a legend. It was an emergency route or something like that. Was she in? She was a legend.
Agatha Christie. Is that Agatha Christie?
No, I think it was a television program called Murder, She Wrote.
Oh, okay.
I think she was like an old lady, like detective, someone like that. So you'll have to refresh my memory, Trev, on that one. Yes. Right, we've got a couple more questions to go, and they're both from
Jay Knight also comes in with the congratulations, 1K, well deserved, Jarvis and Stu. Thank you, Jay.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you.
Took us only 100 shows.
And you've all been a part of the journey. And
yes.
We're very grateful for that. Fred, the Reds, MEFC News. Love to have you on as well, Fred. Q&A. Who would you have liked us to sign that we were linked to in the past? For example, Gaza, Shearer, Ronaldinho, etc. that we missed out on. You'd have loved to see play at Old Trafford. You've already done it with me, Gaza. I'd have loved Gaza at Old Trafford. Just to see him and experienced him would have been something to behold. It really would. For me, Gaza all day long.
Gaza.
Yeah. All day long for me.
How do you think Ferguson would have got the better of him?
Well, he famously says, Gaza does. Did an interview with Alan Shearer about 6 months ago. Gary Lineker asked him, would if you'd gone to Manchester United, would you have not been as bad? And he goes, well, let's put it this way. Rooney went with a grandma and Giggs shagged his brother's wife. So what hope would I have had? So that was his response. I thought it was a great response.
Legend.
There's loads of videos out there when David Ginola signed for Tottenham. And his very first training session, David Ginola, as we all know, had that long flowing hair. Vicky's probably drooling at this point because I'm sure she was a David Ginola fan. And Gaza came out with this long grey wig and started running by David Ginola, and that was his welcome to Tottenham. I'd have loved Gaza at Man United. He would have been absolutely phenomenal.
Can I say who I would have signed? One of my favorite players during the 90s, and that's actually Gabriel Batistuta. Can you imagine him in the Man United shirt?
Yeah,
with that long, Vicky would have loved him with that long, long hair. He could score goals. I think he would have been perfect. I always bought Batistuta when I played Championship Manager in the 90s.
That's a great shout, that is, Jarvis.
Yeah.
I like that, Stu. Yeah. Fred, I love that question, mate. That's just brilliant, that question. Jarvis, question from Catherine. Who was the best player you've ever played with or against?
Well, in my team, I never played with like really big stars, only locally. So you wouldn't know who they are anyway. But I played against a lot of good players that actually played high up Premier League, the Norwegian Premier League, and a couple of them went abroad to become professionals playing in the Belgium league. There was one guy called Ole Martin Orst. He was the top goal scorer for Club Brugge a couple of seasons. I think he scored over 40 goals couple of seasons. I think he was brilliant. And another guy called Rune Lang, and he also played for Club Brugge. Both of them came from my city, Tromsø. And obviously you have Morten Gams Pedersen. I played against him a couple of times.
Legend.
He was so quick. You could already see he was really young. He was like 16, 17 when I played against him, and he could run up and down all day long. And he was super strong. When he was 16, 17. So it was something different. Something else.
Yeah,
but you can see it right away. There are some players that are really good. So imagine I played against a guy who played in the Premier League. So
great question. Great question. Oh yeah, if it's any consolation, Catherine, I got destroyed by Dean Holdsworth last season. If that's any consolation, and,
can I tell you the result of the game we played against Morten Gams Pedersen and a lot of the other guys?
13-0?
Nah, 10-0. We lost 10-0.
That's
I felt
good
so
effort.
embarrassed, but it was a different level. You could see it right away.
That's a good effort, that is, pal.
Yeah,
really, really good effort. I'm not quite sure what's going on.
He played alongside Ravel Morrison.
Did it? Oh, lovely. We went on a school football trip. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's absolutely brilliant. I played a few charity matches with Don Goodman. He's a couple of years ago. He was really quick still. Real nice guy. We played against Wolves. We've been quite lucky, really, as well. So, was I defence that day when you got beat 10-0? Absolutely, I was. Jarvis was shouting at me all game, Trev.
Yeah.
Embarrassed.
Is there an opening for me to have a football practice with Tipton Town if I ever come visiting you? And
you want quality, mate. You don't.
Yeah, I was thinking I was too young. Is this over 55 or was it over 60?
Walk into the mighty Tipton Town. You just don't come strolling in with your boots and your bag and see if you can get through the door.
Well, I was just wondering, maybe you could bring a friend. Bring a friend.
Of course there is. You are more than welcome to. Whenever you come to the UK, come over, come and stay with me, and we will go and play football with the boys.
Would I have to wear double shins?
Yes.
And
especially if I'm playing.
Boots.
Yes. Well, steel toe caps on your boots.
Yeah.
Especially if I'm playing, because I'm too slow now. I'd never catch you. And I'll trip over, probably. We've got a good friend of mine. Jarvis knows this. His daughter, 17-year-old daughter, passed away a couple of months ago in her sleep. She had a very rare form of meningitis. And we've got a game against her team in a couple of months in August. And so I'm practicing my when I get skinned by a 17-year-old girl, I'm practicing my fall of grace. See if I can fall over gracefully. And if I get caught, I'm going to practice my rollover and hold the face type thing, when I get injured, that type of thing. But I'm really looking forward to that. And that's what football's about, isn't it? Getting my old mate over to come and play with us. Come on a Wednesday night. Bring your boots. You can play. More than welcome to come and play. It'd be great. I'd like a kickabout when we're in Norway, pal.
Yeah. I can see what I can arrange.
Just anything like that. But yes, we'll get.
But I've stopped playing the game. I don't have a team anymore. That's my only team is my son's team, and they're 8-year-olds. And by the way, they won the game today 10-2. 10-4. It was 4-4 at halftime, but they came back. The stamina, and my son got a lot of praise after the game. I could really see. I think this was the moment when we really understood the game of football.
That's mint. That is that. Yeah. I mean, my lad's 24 now. But I think if we played your son, if we played Philip's team, it'd probably still be better than us, Jarvis. No, that's the thing. That's the thing.
Yeah, well, that's my level now. 8-year-olds.
Yeah, that's mine as well.
Yeah.
We've got a couple more questions to go. Trevor said, great questions, by the way, tonight. They've been fun, really, really fun questions. If an actor could play your life, who would it be? For Jarvis, would it probably Arnold Schwarzenegger? I would like Al Pacino to play me because I think I'm Italian looking. I think I've got the Italian Pacino looks. So I would like Al Pacino.
Well, the only guy is Rick Astley. I think he would be the only guy that can play me really well. Never gonna give you up. You know, we are lookalikes. Rick Astley and me. So he's not even an actor, but I think
he's not even an actor. He's not. Jay is saying, Jay remembers John Commode. Jay, back then when I was doing football coaching, I remember your name. It's familiar to me when I trained Felly, and that through various academies. That's I think he's talking about John Commode. There you go. Interesting.
Stu, I don't know, guys. Do you think?
Yes.
Resemblance between me and Rick Astley.
Yes, you are Rick Astley. Would you believe Rick Astley is a very fine drummer?
Really?
Yeah, very fine drummer. So definitely. You are. That is you. Right, we've got 2 more questions to go. The first one is from United XS. Welcome. Hello, guys. Would you sign Anthony Robinson from? He's a Stonewall. Yes, we've been talking about him for a couple of years. I would love Robinson in our team. Absolutely, 100%. I wouldn't even need to think about it.
I like his attitude, on the pitch.
Yeah.
He has a winning mentality, I believe, and he's not afraid, and he stands his ground. He's a shithouser, and he plays really well. So I think he would fit perfectly into.
It'd be brilliant for us, Anthony Robinson. Yeah. That's a resounding 100% yes from us, United Access. Final question from Trev. He says, I like this, your best 5-a-side team of all time United players, past and present.
We can do one position at a time. So goalkeeper,
Schmeichel.
For me, obviously, has to be Michael. Yeah, I think we agree.
Schmeichel for me.
So two defenders, two up front.
Well, I would say Tipton Town's current captain would definitely get in defence. I hear he's an absolute stalwart, very solid, reads the game very, very well, good in the air. Occasionally,
and the captain I've seen him is terrible. No.
Sorry, guys. The Tipton Town captain is dropped. Yeah, he's rubbish. At the back, I'm going to go with Steve Bruce.
And I go with Dennis Irvin.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. I like that.
Bruce and Irvin, that will be.
Yeah. So we want 2 up front. So my 2 up front, very, very straightforward. It really is a no-brainer for me.
I know who you're going to pick.
You don't.
Yeah. Ruud van Nistelrooy would be the one, and the second one is Cantona.
No. Great calls. No. I'm going to go the wizardry of Best.
Georgie Best.
5-a-side. And the shooting power and prowess of the one and only Sir Robert Charlton.
Oh.
That would be that 5-a-side team of Irwin, Bruce, Best and Charlton. And let me tell you, you got Bruce to stay back.
Mm-hmm.
You got Irwin to sweep across. You got Best to play the whole pitch.
Dribble. Hold on to the ball.
You got Charlton, 1 shot, 1 goal. That
and
would
even
be my
Dennis Irvin can shoot.
Even Irwin can shoot.
That
would be a brilliant 5-a-side team.
That would be fantastic. What are the Devilish Tacticals saying? I see Jay United coming in and saying,
that's it now for the Q&A. Let me push Jarvis back into his normal position.
I just want to say good night to Vicky. Good night,
good night, darling.
Thank you for the membership and
thank you, sweetheart,
for watching us. It's been a great show. Thank you. Let's go back. Jay, Van der Sar, Rio, Irvin, Scholes, and Rooney. That's a strong team. That's a really
Great
strong
side.
team. Yeah, balanced.
Best gets in the Vutanators. So Vutanator is going with Best, Scholes, Cantona, Robbo, and
Scholes.
Rio. Yeah,
Scholes.
of course.
Scholes.
Fred the Red is going with Schmeichel, Stam. Duncan Edwards. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, absolutely. What a player. Schmeichel seems to be the keeper of choice. Schmeichel, Stam, King, Cantona, and Rude from Trev. Yeah. Dude, I've just realised we're going 2:20. It's been at 2 hours 20. It's been a brilliant show tonight. It's absolutely flown by.
Yes.
Yeah, a really, really good show. Some great questions. Yeah. What we spied? Any latest news before we?
Nah. Well, let's just scroll through TikTok. I was TikTok X one more time before we go.
Go.
Nah, nothing. It's the same. It's the Jadon Sancho news, Fenerbahçe, and Mbeumo. So nothing new on the ether. It's been a good show. Thank you, Johnny Kermode, coming in, say great show, guys.
Thank you, Johnny.
It's been a great show. Thank you to the moderators moderating the chat, pushing those likes. I don't know how many likes we're on, about 60, I would say. So 63 likes from the rotator coming in, reading my thoughts. Smash the like if you haven't already. Thank you. And Trevor Wade coming in and say, great show with great company. Some very raw and honest answers. Oh, outstanding. Best on YouTube by miles. Wow.
Thank you, Trev. Thank you, Trev.
Yeah, missed you, Trevor Wade. Good to have you back.
We have missed you, yeah.
Good to have you back. And I have to say thank you to Tyrone with Tyrone Williams coming in. Great guy. With the board, Wiki coming in. Fred the Red. A lot of good comments. Catherine, no nonsense. McDade.
Yes. Romano, Rush has been in Rushmano. Yala. Too many to even remember.
United XS.
Yes, United XS.
Great question. Rob Taff. Yeah, you all know.
Sorry
if I forgot to read out your name, but you are all legends. All legends. So it's been a great show. It's time to call it a night. Work tomorrow, another day. We will be back Thursday night with none other than Graham Bailey.
Graham Bailey, yep.
That will be a great show, so don't miss it. We will go a little bit earlier than usual. 8 p.m. 8 p.m. Yeah. So it's been a great show. And Emmanuel Odosi comes in and say, "Big up, organize a call-in show now." Yes, we will do that.
We will do.
Maybe, yeah. I have time doing it on Friday. We can talk about it, but maybe Friday, maybe Wednesday, even this week if something comes up. No, you can't do Wednesdays. Yeah,
I'm Grayson Harlow Turf on a Wednesday night, old friend.
Yeah,
let's see if I can make it this time. I'm still knackered from yesterday, but one tries.
Don't get injured.
No, I can't get injured. That'll be it.
Knock on wood.
It'll be fit for the season. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's been a great show. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. If you want, leave a comment in the non-live section. It helps out the channel immensely. If we get 10 more comments in the non-live section, YouTube pushes us out to another 2,000 to 3,000 people. So, every bit helps. And if you want to help the channel, leave a comment in the non-live section. So, everybody, have a good night. And hopefully, we will see you on Thursday.
You come back when you can, Jay.
Yes, Jay the legend. I wish you well.
Wish you well.
Okay, have a good one and good night, guys.
See you guys.